Ugh, ads are such poop. Subscribe to Acast Plus now to skip ads and more for just $1 a month. Click the link in our show notes to learn how. And hey, we're on Patreon too. Your support helps cover the cost of running a podcast. For $2 a month, you can get early access to all our episodes ad-free, plus bonus episodes exclusive to Patreon subscribers only. Visit patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse to sign up now.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
Hi, I'm Dory Shafrier, and along with Kate Spencer, I host Forever 35, a podcast about the things we do to take care of ourselves. Join us every Wednesday with guests like author Phoebe Robinson, chef Samin Nosrat, actress Busy Phillips, and even former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright. On Mondays and Fridays, we have mini episodes where we answer listeners' questions on everyday problems like how useful a butt mask really is, how to deal with a petty friend, or how to relax after a long day. So join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Forever 35, where we're not experts, but we are two friends who like to talk a lot about serums.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.
Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember what happened on Friday?
Yeah, Rehoboam was going to beat his people with scorpion tails.
Yeah, he was.
And then he ran away like a little bitch.
Well, that's how I described it.
I know.
Yeah. And here's the last sentence to that chapter.
Okay.
And to this day, the northern tribes of Israel have refused to be ruled by a descendant of David.
To this day.
'Cause they
mark that day.
They stoned that boy.
To this day.
They stoned their boss man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was 2 Chronicles chapter 10.
Sure as fuck was.
And today we're reading
2 Chronicles chapter 11.
All right, let's go do this.
Okie dokie. Okay, so this chapter starts in the middle of a section.
Yep.
And that section is we're continuing with Israel's revolt.
Got it.
Okay?
Got it, yeah.
Because
fuck them scorpion tails and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Getting beat.
That is right.
Yeah.
When Rehoboam arrived at Jerusalem, he mobilized the men of Judah and Benjamin. 180,000 select troops.
Okay.
I wonder if they were capable.
They maybe even very capable.
Very
I don't know.
capable, right?
Yeah.
To fight against Israel and to restore the kingdom to himself. But the Lord said to Shemaiah, the man of God, say to Rehoboam, son of Solomon, king of Judah, and to all the Israelites in Judah and Benjamin, this is what the Lord says. Do not fight against your relatives. Go back home, for what has happened is my doing.
Okay.
So they obeyed the message of the Lord and did not fight Jeroboam.
Or maybe they were just scared that they were going to get their asses whipped.
Probably that one.
Just saying.
I'm going to go with that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so next section. Ready?
I'm ready.
Rehoboam remained in Jerusalem and fortified various towns for the defense of Judah.
Because he was scared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He built up Bethlehem, Edom, Tekoa, Bethzur, Soko, Adullam, Gath, Marishah, Ziph, Adoraim, Lachish, Azekah, Zorah, Ahilan, and Hebron.
That's a lot of towns.
Sure as fuck is.
Yeah.
And maybe he should have been already spending money on them. Or maybe his father Solomon should have already been spending money on them.
Maybe Solomon should have been treating his people better because it sounds like they were pretty fed up by the time this guy took over.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And it makes Solomon look kind of bad.
It really does.
That they just like waited for his son to take over and they're like, nah, fuck you, dude.
We're done. We're done with y'all.
Right?
Yeah. These became the fortified towns of Judah and Benjamin. Rehoboam strengthened their defenses and stationed commanders in them, and he stored supplies of food, olive oil, and wine.
Those are important things to store.
The wine.
Yeah,
very
definitely the wine.
Stuff. Yeah. He also put shields and spears in these towns as a further safety measure. As you do.
I mean, if you're going to have army there, then
you should give them shields and weapons.
Right. That's generally a good thing to have there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So only Judah and Benjamin remained under his control.
Right. Okay. This is where the kingdom split.
Mm-hmm. But all the priests and Levites living among the northern tribes of Israel sided with Rehoboam. The Levites even abandoned their pasture lands and property and moved to Judah and Jerusalem because Jeroboam and his sons would not allow them to serve the Lord as priests. I don't really understand that.
Right.
Why wouldn't he allow them to serve the Lord as priests?
I don't know.
I guess because they weren't Levites, but the Levites had abandoned their pasture lands. So what you gonna do?
Right.
Jeroboam appointed his own priests to serve at the pagan shrines. Oh, here we go.
That's why, because he, whatever, fuck this shit.
Where they worshiped the goat and calf idols he had made.
Right, but as I recall, now, I do kind of recall this story.
Mm-hmm.
He created those giant calf statues, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this was like a different sect of Judaism, essentially, at the time.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that it's something that still survives to this day.
No, but it was, they were worshiping the same God, just in a different fashion.
Right. Just they didn't agree on how back then.
Right.
So
they didn't have Moses' book to tell them exactly what they should be doing.
Right.
So, or they didn't read it correctly, or they couldn't read.
But that whole thing, like, I am curious how the whole calf thing works out, because that was something that Aaron got in trouble for back in the earlier books. And I'm like, and we come to find out later after digging into some stuff, to find out that maybe it wasn't so different after all.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Right?
It wasn't. Yeah.
It would be an interesting deep dive type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I would love to see a documentary that talked about this stuff more. But not like a documentary from a Christian perspective.
Right.
A documentary from a historian perspective that could
And there's just not enough of that out there.
There's really not.
I mean, it's like, I know why, because that people are very protective of their religion, and they don't want light shown on the fallacies that are there. Right. Or the differences or the wrongness or whatever. But there's just not enough information out there that is being
disseminated to the public.
I feel like we should be talking about it, why not talk about it? It's there. Why not just talk about it?
Exactly. I just want to know.
Right.
I want to know all the things.
Yeah.
From all the tribes of Israel, those who sincerely wanted to worship the Lord, the God of Israel, followed the Levites to Jerusalem, where they could offer sacrifices to the Lord, the God of their ancestors. This strengthened the kingdom of Judah, and for 3 years they supported Rehoboam, son of Solomon, for during those years they faithfully followed in the footsteps of David and Solomon. That means they each married thousands of wives.
Right.
Rehoboam married his cousin, Mahalath, the daughter of David's son Jeremoth, and of Abihail, the daughter of Eliab, son of Jesse.
Okay.
Mahalath had 3 sons, Jeush, Shemariah, and Zaham.
Okay.
Later, Rehoboam married another cousin.
Damn, he likes his cousins there.
Yeah.
Right?
Maacah, the granddaughter of Absalom. Maacah gave birth to Abijah, Attai, Ziza, and Shelomoth.
It could have been an issue of just not enough people to choose from, because they condensed down to 2 tribes, essentially.
That's true.
And there's just not as many people to pick from, exactly. And especially if you're a king, you're looking for somebody that's higher echelon. And so
they had a very
that would
limited
be
gene pool.
essentially your family.
Yeah.
So.
Gross. Rehoboam loved Maacah more than any of his other wives and concubines.
The fact that they have... Oh, God.
There's so much wrong with that sentence, but okay.
Right? Yeah.
In all, he had 18 wives, which is a lot, and 60 concubines.
Jesus. I mean, it's not as much as his dad, but...
But still.
Right?
And they gave birth to 28 sons and 60 daughters.
Man.
Oof.
I'm surprised they admitted that they had more daughters than sons.
Right?
Like twice as many.
Yeah. Rehoboam appointed Maacah's son Abijah as leader among the princes, making it clear that he would be the next king.
Yeah.
Rehoboam also wisely gave responsibilities to his other sons and stationed some of them in the fortified towns throughout the land of Judah and Benjamin.
But not as wisely as his dad would have done it.
Right. His dad was the wisest.
Right.
He provided them with generous provisions and found many wives for them.
Wait, why is he allowed to find his own wives and then
he's king.
His sons are like, no, I'm going to appoint you wives?
Yeah.
But I mean,
he's in charge of all the wife choosing.
Why didn't his dad appoint him a wife?
Because
or
he's
wives?
An asshole.
Okay. All right.
What do you think?
I don't know.
He's a piece of shit.
I mean, Solomon had thousands of fucking concubines, wives, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Mm-hmm. And I doubt David had the time to appoint thousands of wives to him either.
Okay, here's the thing. Solomon, in his time after David died, he traveled a lot. So he made a wife like everywhere he went. He had so many business wives.
Right.
Whereas this guy, he's staying home. He's kind of in, his little town.
He's been backed into a corner. So.
Yeah. So he is not out making deals and, making business wives everywhere.
Right.
He's staying home and he's like, this cousin, you hot, I'd tack that. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck, marry, kill, fuck, marry, kill, fuck, marry, kill.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, it makes sense to me.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Well, that was 2 Kings Chronicles. No. Don't listen to a word I just said there. That was 2 Chronicles, chapter 11.
It sure as fuck
had
was.
Nothing to do with kings except for that there are kings.
Right.
But not the chapter kings, just 2 Chronicles.
2 Chronicles, which has
chapter
kings
11.
in it.
And it was the 11th chapter of the 2 Chronicles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 2 Chronicles, chapter 11.
Yes.
And tomorrow we'll be back with
2 Chronicles, chapter 12.
We'll see you guys then.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
Yeah, Rehoboam was marrying all of his cousins or something.
Yeah, unlike his father, the wise ass, Rehoboam was a dumb ass. So, yeah, he was going to war with people and splitting off Judah.
Right.
So, that's a thing.
Yeah, so that was basically it, I think. That was 2 Chronicles chapter 11.
Sure as fuck was.
And today we're reading
2 Chronicles chapter 12.
All right, let's go do this.
Okie dokie. Okay, 2 Chronicles chapter 12.
Okay.
When Rehoboam was firmly established and strong, he abandoned the law of the Lord.
Oh, what an asshole.
Of course he did.
Who cares?
I know. And all Israel followed him in this sin.
Because that's what you do with your king.
Yes.
Well, I mean, especially one that beats you with scorpions.
Yeah.
I guess that's what you got to do, kind of, because, he's in charge.
Right.
And he beats you with scorpions.
Yeah, I don't understand why they would use the fact that the people followed their king as proof that the entire nation was bad.
Right. I feel like they didn't really have a choice. And you know what?
I bet in their private lives they also kept with whatever other gods they wanted.
Right? Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, their choice is between a god who doesn't really punish people, sort of, maybe, but maybe sort of sometimes, I don't know.
Right.
And their king who literally has a scorpion whip. And I'm like, well, dude's got a scorpion whip. So.
Yep. And he's always talking about the size of his pinky. His pinky. Because they were unfaithful to the Lord, King Shishak.
Shishak, huh?
Shishak?
Did he collect seashells down by the seashore?
I think we did this.
Did we really?
I could almost swear we did.
It sucks.
I haven't listened to it. It just sounds familiar.
Right.
Shishak of Egypt came up and attacked Jerusalem in the 5th year of King Rehoboam's reign.
Damn it. And all that fortifying didn't work out so well, I guess.
Didn't help, I guess. He came with 1,200 chariots, 60,000 horses, and a countless army of foot soldiers, including Libyans, Sukkites, and Ethiopians.
There they go, not being able to count again.
Right.
Nope.
Shishak conquered Judah's fortified towns. Well, I guess they weren't that fortified.
Right.
And then advanced to attack Jerusalem. The prophet Shemaiah then met with Rehoboam and Judah's leaders who had all fled to Jerusalem because of Shishak. Shemaiah told them, "This is what the Lord says. Y'all have abandoned me, so I'm abandoning you to Shishak." Boom.
Yeah.
God dropped the mic on that one.
I mean, it could be that or the priestly guy is like, I kind of see the way this is going. So
Right. But it's like it went Lord out.
Right, yeah.
God has left the chat. Then the leaders of Israel and the king humbled themselves and said, "The Lord is right in doing this to us. Oh, yeah, we definitely earned this."
Yeah.
When the Lord saw their change of heart, he gave this message to Shemaiah. "Since the people have humbled themselves, I will not completely destroy them and will soon give them some relief. I'll not use Shishak to pour out my anger on Jerusalem, but they will become his subjects, so they will know the difference between serving me and serving earthly rulers."
It's really easy to write this stuff after the fact, knowing how history played out,
Yeah.
And or even the stories that they make up, because that happened too.
Right,
So,
exactly.
But yeah, it's whatever.
It's silly.
So
King Shishak of Egypt came up and attacked Jerusalem. He ransacked the treasuries of the Lord's temple and the royal palace.
Oh, man.
He stole everything.
Everything.
Including all the gold shields Solomon had made.
Damn.
King Rehoboam later replaced them with bronze shield as substitutes, and he entrusted them to the care of the commanders of the guard who protected the entrance to the royal palace.
Yeah.
Whenever the king went to the temple of the Lord, the guards would also take the shields and then return them to the guard room. So it basically would be like...
So it's decoration and utilitarian.
It's like every time we go to my friend's house, if we were like, "Wait, let's take the portraits off the wall and bring with us just in case."
Right.
Because Rehoboam humbled himself, the Lord's anger was turned away, and he did not destroy him completely.
Well, that's nice of him.
I mean, did his heart change, or did his, "Oh no,
right?
I'm about to get fucked.
Oh shit, I need to change my ways.
I'm in the find out phase." There were still some good things in the land of Judah. That's good.
Just some good things, though.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Yeah. King Rehoboam firmly established himself in Jerusalem and continued to rule. He was 41 years old when he became king, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city the Lord had chosen from among all the tribes of Israel as the place to honor his name.
So I was wrong. He did rule more than 2 weeks, because I thought he was like one of those like nobody
In and
kings
out.
or whatever. Yeah.
Rehoboam's mother was Naamah, a woman from Ammon.
Okay.
But he was an evil king, for he did not seek the Lord with all his heart.
Wait, they just said, like, in one breath, they're like, he humbled himself, so everything was okay. But no, like, he was evil, so he was suck-ass.
He sinned the sinniest of sins. He was dark-hearted. He was a fuckface. That doesn't
make any fucking sense.
No.
They're just like, whatever you find out about this guy, that's true.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to play both sides here.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't really know what you're going to find out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
If he sucked, we said he sucked. If he was good, we said he humbled himself.
Yeah.
Whatever. We had it both in there.
Yeah.
What are you saying? We got it right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're always wrong. It's the opposite of that game.
Right, yeah.
The rest of the events of Rehoboam's reign from beginning to end are recorded in...
that book.
Blank and blank. Those books.
The Chronicles of Kings, the Kings of Chronicles, the Kingly Chronicles.
Those fucking books.
They are.
Yeah. Which are part of the genealogical record, except that they're not, because we don't have access to them.
Right.
But
they sure reference them a lot.
Mm-hmm. He's recorded in both of them, wherever they are, whatever they are.
Good to know. Yeah.
Rehoboam and Jeroboam were continually at war with each other. When Rehoboam died, he was buried in the city of David. Then his son Abijah became the next king. The end.
Oh, so now we're on to Abijah, I guess.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. Well, that was Rehoboam.
Yeah.
And now we'll see you guys tomorrow for
2 Chronicles chapter 13.
All right. See you guys then.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
Let's see. Rehoboam in the previous chapters had whipped his people with scorpions and stuff. And then he went against the Lord, and then he died.
Well, don't forget that he humbled himself, and then he went against the Lord again.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
It was a back and forth.
God was like, oh, we won't hurt you as much, but then, no, you're against the Lord also, so then you're dead.
Yeah.
But also he ruled for like 19 years or something like that.
Right. Also, the title of this, I was just glancing at it.
Yeah.
And I thought it said Shit Stacks Invasion of Judah. But it doesn't say Shit Stacks.
Shishak.
Yeah.
All right. So that was 2 Chronicles chapter 12.
Sure as fuck was.
And today we're going to be getting into
2 Chronicles chapter 13.
All right. Let's go do this.
Okie dokie. 2 Chronicles chapter 13.
All right.
Abijah.
That was Rehoboam's son who
correct.
took over probably.
When Rehoboam died.
Yeah. Okay.
Abijah began to rule over Judah in the 18th year of Jeroboam's reign in Israel.
Oh, this is where we start comparing.
This is the back and forth.
Other kings to the other kings.
Judah versus Israel. So-and-so started in the other one's whatever year.
Such a confusing way to track who's in charge when.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah, I remember that we were going through those back and forths, and it took us a minute before we realized, wait, they're split. This country is split.
Yeah,
what?
yeah. No, I mean, it makes a little more sense the second time around.
Yeah,
but still, it's a weird way to track who's in charge when. Somewhat.
It's not the best.
Not the best.
It's not the best.
No.
So Abijah reigned in Jerusalem 3 years. His mother was Maacah, the daughter of Uriel from Gibeah.
Okay. Must have done evil, though, because, 3 years.
Then war broke out. Between Abijah and
I
Jeroboam.
wonder if it was springtime.
I like the springer. I like the sun and the moon and the springer. I need to know what that song is.
Okay, well, I'm sure somebody will let us know.
Yeah. But how does it go? I like the Juna. I like the sun and the moon and the springer.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's really cute. It's one of those
I know what you're talking about somewhat, but yeah.
It's like one of those 1950s old cartoons,
Got it.
Yeah, really cute. Judah, led by King Abijah, fielded 400,000 select warriors, while Jeroboam mustered 800,000 select troops from Israel.
Yeah, they got a lot more.
When the army of Judah arrived in the hill country of Ephraim, Abijah stood on Mount Zemaraim and shouted to Jeroboam and all of Israel.
Shouted to him.
That is a big shout.
That's a loud shout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine just using your voice to talk to 800,000 troops?
No.
Right.
No.
How did that? Maybe they had one of those giant ram's horns,
Ricola.
Right?
Exactly. Listen to me, he shouts.
Yeah, shouted.
Don't you realize that the Lord, the God of Israel, made a lasting covenant with David, giving him and his descendants the throne of Israel forever? Okay, this is going on too long.
So you can't keep doing the echo?
So yeah, I'm not going to keep doing the shout. Okay. But just imagine that it's there.
Yeah, okay. All right, I got it.
It's a really long shout.
I'm imagining yelling and echoing.
Well, I mean, it just keeps going. I'm girl.
Yeah.
Yet Jeroboam, son of Nebat, he continues shouting to the crowd, a mere servant of David's son Solomon, rebelled against his master. A mere servant.
He's not David's bloodline, so what the fuck, man?
Son of a bitch.
Right?
Then a whole gang of scoundrels joined him.
Scoundrels.
Scallywags even.
Yeah.
I used the word tomfoolery today, and I felt so happy about it.
Did you?
Because here's what happened. I was babysitting, and they still have this bowl of candy, and it's down to Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah.
That's always what's left, right?
I mean, sure.
I love Tootsie Rolls, but, that's last.
Right.
Right?
Tootsie Rolls are last, obviously.
So I pull out one of the chunky ones. And
yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to eat me this Tootsie Roll, right?
Yeah.
And I open it up. And the bigger, chunkier ones, once you open the outer wrapping, they still have this cardboard like holder.
Protector type thing.
Yeah, like it holds it in place, right?
Right.
That fucking thing was stuck to the goddamn Tootsie Roll.
Fuck.
I was so mad. And so I texted my best friend who I was babysitting for.
Yeah.
What the fuck tomfoolery is this? I never did get a clear answer.
Right.
But I had to throw it away. I couldn't open it.
Yeah, you had cardboard on your Tootsie Roll. Like, what are you supposed to do?
And I was hesitant to try another one. So I was just like, I guess I'm not eating.
You could have cut off that portion, you know?
No, you don't understand. It was all the way around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, no, it wasn't going to happen.
Okay.
So, anyway.
Yeah.
Tomfoolery.
Yeah.
And scoundrels and scallywags.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Yep.
So, okay, he's still shouting.
Okay.
Abijah is still shouting to all of Israel and his 800,000 troops or 400,000, however many thousands of troops.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Then a whole gang of scoundrels joined him, defying Solomon's son Rehoboam when he was young and inexperienced and could not stand up to them.
That's what happened?
Do you really think you can stand against the kingdom of the Lord that is led by the descendants of David?
Didn't it just say in the Bible, just like last chapter, like that the whole covenant that God had done with David's line was kind of fucked up because Rehoboam kind of went against God? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And like that's the reason like he gave his enemies victories is because Rehoboam kind of fucked it up.
He did.
I mean, and you can't treat people like that, like beating them with fucking scorpion whips or whatever the fuck he was doing.
You're talking about the size of your pinky being bigger than
and expect
whatever.
People to fucking follow you. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Sounds like he was an asshole and he kind of deserved what he got.
Bad
a little
leader.
Bit, you know?
Bad leaders get what they get.
Right.
You may have a vast army, he continued, and you have those gold calves that Jeroboam made as your god.
Yeah.
But you have chased away the priests of the Lord, the descendants of Aaron, you know, the Levites.
Yeah.
And the Levites.
And then there we go.
Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was getting a little full of myself there. And I, Yeah. Anyway. And, he continued, you have appointed your own priests, just like the pagan nations. You know about the pagans.
Because you got to have Levites. You can't just appoint anybody. Yeah. Duh. That's what it was written that way. Because Moses said so.
Dumb sons of bitches.
Yeah, right?
You let anyone become a priest these days. These days. You kids and your newfangled ways of making anybody a priest these days. Whoever comes to be dedicated with a young bull and 7 rams can become a priest of these so-called gods of yours. But as for us, he continued, the Lord is our God.
Is he?
And we have not abandoned him.
No?
Today.
But you only rule for 3 years. You already said that, so that doesn't sound like you're really in good favor here.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I'm going to hold out judgment here, but I bet you do wrong by God.
I bet you do. As I recall, they all do.
Right?
Only the descendants of Aaron serve the Lord as priests, and the Levites alone may help them in their work. They present burnt offerings and fragrant incense to the Lord every morning and evening, he continues yelling.
I'm just curious.
Seems a really weird thing to keep yelling.
Right. But, like, you remember when God, like, killed Aaron's sons for lighting the wrong fucking fire on the incense or whatever?
I do remember that.
Why doesn't he still do that when people do things the wrong way?
It almost is like they made that shit up.
I mean, it's almost like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because God gets further and further away as the story goes on.
But I mean, if God continued to do that as time went on, right?
Yeah.
People wouldn't fucking do that.
Yeah.
They'd learn the lesson. They'd be like, you know what? We're going to do this God's way because apparently we die otherwise.
Okay, remember that one episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, right? It's in the first season. It's like within the first 5 episodes even.
Okay.
Okay, and they land on this planet and it seems like it's fucking utopia. It's the best, right?
Yeah.
And then Wesley is playing ball with these kids, right?
Yeah.
And the ball accidentally goes into one of the garden things, right? Yeah. And they're like, oh, shit, guess the ball's gone forever. And Wesley's like, what are you talking about? I'll just go get it. And they're like, dear God, no! And he's hey, y'all weird. I'm just going to get the fucking ball here real quick.
Right.
Okay, and he goes in to the garden. He steps in the garden, and he gets the ball.
Right.
And then the cops show up.
Yeah.
And they have a 100% rule, which is never bent, and it stays the same, which is that if we catch you breaking the rule, you die. Period. The end.
Right.
So nobody breaks the rule because it's applied evenly across the board, 100%, no exceptions.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that that's a good way to be,
Right.
but if God wants his people to fucking believe in him and behave, he really should be executing his rules in that utopian quote-unquote manner.
Across the fucking board.
Across the board. Do it 100% always.
Right.
It's called follow-through, Dad.
Yeah. It's called
consistency.
At least with the people who are doing priestly actions, like
yeah.
That's where you shine with your punishments, so
yeah.
keep doing that.
Yeah.
And enforce those fucking rules.
Exactly.
Or don't, because you're not real.
Yeah, exactly.
So whatever.
So, okay, dude is still yelling. And this is the longest yell that ever yelled.
Right,
okay?
right.
They place the bread of the presence on the holy table, and they light the gold lampstand every evening. We are following the instructions of the Lord our God, but you have abandoned him.
Mm.
So you see, God is with us. He is our leader. His priests blow their trumpets and lead us into battle against you. O people of Israel, do not fight against the Lord, the God of your ancestors, for you will not succeed. That was the end of the shout.
Okay, so, got it. Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jeroboam had secretly sent part of his army around behind the men of Judah to ambush them. Okay. So, dude is standing up on a fucking hill yelling. Meanwhile, his enemy's like, this is so boring. Let's just sneak around the back. Let's just get this done.
Right.
When Judah realized that they were being attacked from the front and the rear, they cried out to the Lord for help. I bet they did.
Yeah.
I help.
Kind of screwed, guys.
I help. Then the priests blew the trumpets. Burr, 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 and the men of Judah began to shout, "What? Ooh, oh!"
Yeah.
Lots of shouting.
Is that how it sounded?
Yeah.
Okay.
At the sound of their battle cry, that kind of shouting.
Okay.
Rah!
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oops. My original shouts were not good.
Okay. Yeah.
So disregard.
Fair enough.
Okay. Yeah. Let's edit those out.
Right.
JK. Okay. So at the sound of their battle cry, God defeated Jeroboam and all Israel and routed them before Abijah and the army of Judah.
What?
Boom!
The fuck? No.
They shouted. Boom! That happened.
You don't get surrounded by an army twice your size. Mm-hmm. And then no.
They did a battle cry. What?
That is not correct.
They did a battle cry.
I don't care.
I don't know what to tell you. They did a fucking battle cry.
This is some bullshit. You know what? Here's the crap of this. We're gonna find out 2 seconds later that he doesn't follow God.
I know.
And so why did he win? Why did he win?
I don't know.
Because they wanted him to right then for some fucking reason. Yeah. Whatever.
The Israelite army fled from Judah, and God handed them over to Judah in defeat.
Yeah.
Abijah and his army inflicted heavy losses on them. 500,000 of Israel's select troops were killed that day.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Crazy.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Very wow.
How many of their troops were killed, I wonder?
So Judah defeated Israel on that occasion because they trusted in the Lord, the God of their ancestors.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
I believe you. Abijah and his army pursued Jeroboam's troops and captured some of his towns, including Bethel, Jeshanah, and Ephraim, along with their surrounding villages.
Okay.
So, Jeroboam of Israel never regained his power during Abijah's lifetime. And finally, the Lord struck him down and he died.
Wait, Jeroboam? Or, okay.
Yeah.
So, Jeroboam died?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The quote-unquote bad guy.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Abijah of Judah grew more and more powerful. He married 14 wives and had 22 sons and 16 daughters.
Damn.
The rest of the events of Abijah's reign, including his words and deeds, are recorded in that fucking book.
Right.
The end.
Wait, so we're at the point where they're calling out the book and recorded. That means he's done, right? That's all we're gonna hear about. What was his name? Abijah.
Yep.
Right? So he's dying now or something, right?
Probably.
He lasted 3 years, is what they said at the beginning. 3 fucking years, and you're telling me he had God's goodwill here? I can't remember what the story was in Kings, but like, I'm feeling like he wasn't all that good.
I think that he had the Lord's will in that he was kind of good.
Okay.
Like, he kind of followed the rules.
Okay.
But he still sucked. And
okay.
that's why he only lasted 3 years.
All right.
I don't know.
No,
the whole thing
gotcha.
is stupid and without explanation. Let's be honest.
Right.
I can tell you, like, my impression, and, like, oh, they probably meant this, but who could fucking know?
Right.
But, I mean, ultimately, it just doesn't fucking matter because it's so dumb.
It really is. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, whatever. All right. So that was was Abijah.
Irritated.
I mean, it's so stupid, you know?
It was irritating the first time, and now it's just, like, ultra irritating.
And, like, I have no trust in the chronicler.
Yeah.
Like, I just believe that he is all about David's line and lineage, and he's going to make everything look as good as humanly possible.
For Judah.
And
Judah.
I'm a little bit, like, disillusioned with this whole story arc for Chronicles, because it's so slanted and so biased.
Right.
That it's by the mere nature of the story completely unbelievable.
Right. It's like, up until now, we've been reading Fox News, and so it's like, well, it sucks and it's slanted, but we kind of know that going in.
Right.
And now we've gone from, like, Fox News to, like, OAN or one of those other things.
Yeah.
And we're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
This was already bad.
I thought it was bad before, but
right?
Damn.
Yeah. Like, can we get back to Fox News? God, the day I said that, right?
Right.
Whoa,
yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
So
all
anyways.
Right. Well, that was 2 Chronicles chapter 13.
It sure as fuck was.
And tomorrow we'll be back with
2 Chronicles chapter 14.
We'll see you guys then.
Boy. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
Abijah yelled at a bunch of Israelites on top of a mountain, and they all heard him, and then they won. God, I guess. Or, I don't know, something. And the chronicler really loves David's line, though. I know that.
Yeah. And then he died or whatever.
Something. They didn't really say that, but, like, they kind of wrapped it up like he was dead, so.
Right.
And he was only in charge for 3 years, so.
He had 14 wives, etc., and then that's all we're going to say about him.
Yeah, that's Abijah.
Yep.
Okay, so that was 2 Chronicles chapter 13.
Sure as fuck was.
And today we're getting into
2 Chronicles chapter 14.
All right, let's go do this.
Okie dokie. Okay, 2 Chronicles chapter 14.
Okay.
When Abijah died. Yeah, see?
Oh, now he's okay, so he's dead. Yeah.
Abijah dead.
Yep.
He was buried in the city of David.
Oh, man, I'm shocked.
That happened.
Yeah, they all get buried there.
Then his son Asa became the next king.
Good old Asa.
There was peace in the land for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
I bet Asa was good, but I bet right at the end he was bad, but then he died. Anyway, moving on. Right?
I mean, probably.
Asa did what was pleasing and good in the sight of the Lord his God.
Because he's part of David's line.
Yeah,
duh.
He's perfect. Blah, blah, blah. He removed the foreign altars and the pagan shrines. He smashed the sacred pillars and cut down the Asherah poles.
As I recall, they had to do this like hundreds of times, it seemed like.
Yeah.
So.
He's not the first, nor will he be the last.
Right.
He commanded the people of Judah to seek the Lord, the God of their ancestors, and to obey his law and his commands.
Okay.
Asa also removed the pagan shrines as well as the incense altars from every one of Judah's towns.
Yeah. Why did you have them there in the first place?
Right? So Asa's kingdom enjoyed a period of peace. Do you think it was peaceful, or do you think he ruled with an iron fist?
I don't know.
What's the difference, though, right?
I mean, peaceful meaning they didn't get attacked by anybody, so maybe he was just a good diplomat, you know?
Right.
I don't know. And his dad had just beat the rest of Israel, so, like, they had just done a show of power, so, like, he's taking over right after that. So, like, maybe we don't fuck with him for a while. We just lost a bunch of troops, so, you know.
I'm just saying, like, he's going through ripping up everybody's methods of worship. Do you think that means, oh, there was a period of peace? Or do you think that after his father showed the world how powerful they are, he went through the land and showed his people how powerful he was.
Yeah,
and they were like...
Chances are he didn't go, hey, excuse me, could we go ahead and remove that stuff?
Right.
No, that's not how it happened.
And that to me doesn't say they enjoyed a period of peace.
Right.
They enjoyed a period of, if we just do everything he says, then we won't get killed or beat with scorpions like one of his ancestors did.
Right.
Yeah. During those peaceful years, he was able to build up the fortified towns throughout Judah.
Well, that's
now,
good.
See, that's another thing. So he goes through and he says, I tell you what, I'll make your town stronger, I'll build your walls higher, but you got to get rid of those poles, those Asherah poles and all the pagan shrines and shit.
Yeah.
So the people are going to be like, yeah, okay, I guess. Like,
right.
I don't really...
But then again, the fortifications didn't really help them out that much the last go around. So.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, was it peace? I don't know.
Nobody attacked them.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going with here. So.
Yeah. No one tried to make war against him at this time, for the Lord was giving him rest for his enemies. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. Okay. The Lord was like, I'm going to give you a minute.
No, it wasn't like they just had a great win.
Yeah.
And then everybody was just scared of them.
Yeah.
Because that's more likely what happened.
Asa told the people of Judah, let us build towns and fortify them with walls, towers, gates, and bars.
I mean, it sounds like a good idea.
Do you think he meant like metal bars, or do you think he meant like bars where you go get a drink and knock back a few?
I mean, that one sounds better. You know what, though? I got a question here.
What's that?
If you got the Lord on your side, right, and you're doing everything right, what do you need to worry about fortifications for?
That is true.
I'm just saying, God's got your back, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about all that shit. You're just wasting money.
That's true.
If you all just worship correctly, apparently God's always got your back.
Yeah. So
what the
fuck?
Are
you anticipating a time period when you are going to fuck up and go against God and then other countries are going to invade you?
Or just throwing this out there, maybe they don't really believe in God.
I'm going to go with that one because God probably doesn't exist anyway.
Right. And they know it even then.
Yeah.
Because they're building fucking fortifications.
Exactly.
Right.
The land is still ours, he continued saying, because we sought the Lord our God, and he has given us peace on every side. No, he didn't give you peace. He gave you beat them up, and they didn't want to attack you anymore.
Right. And sometimes, you know what? Peace just fucking happens.
Yeah.
There's not always war.
Yeah.
Spring is not always the time for war.
That's not always when the kings normally go to war. So they went ahead with these projects and brought them to completion. King Asa had an army of 300,000 warriors from the tribe of Judah.
So they lost some people because they had 400,000. Okay, all right.
Armed with large shields, and spears.
Yeah,
shears.
Right.
See?
Yeah, shield spears.
He also had an army. See. I was like, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Of 280,000 warriors from the tribe of Benjamin, armed with small shields and bows. Both armies were composed of well-trained fighting men.
Were they very capable?
It doesn't say they were, so I'm going to guess they weren't. They were merely capable.
Just capable, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Once,
tell
you a story about an Ethiopian.
A long time ago in a
galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
Okay, so an Ethiopian named Zerah.
That's interesting. We're talking about an Ethiopian after we just learned about in our Q&A about the Queen of Sheba that the Solomon dynasty was ruling in for thousands of years.
Right up to 1974.
Right, yeah. Okay, so Ethiopia.
Yeah, this guy named Zerah attacked Judah with an army of 1 million men.
What the fuck?
And 300 chariots. Hold on. Suddenly they can count to 1 million?
Right.
Okay, I call bullshit.
1 million.
1 million men. And 300 chariots.
Okay.
They advanced to the town of Maresha, so Asa deployed his armies for battle in the valley north of Maresha.
Mm-hmm.
Then Asa cried out to the Lord his God, "O Lord, no one but you can help the powerless against the mighty. Help us, O Lord our God, for we trust in you alone, even though we built walls that prove that we don't fully trust you.
Right.
It is in your name," he continued, "that we have come against this vast horde." No, it's No.
It's because they were attacking you.
They want your land,
right.
stupid.
Yeah.
It's had nothing to do with your name.
Right. They're wanting to fight. They're like, hey,
want your
you guys
resources and your land.
Maybe they view you guys as a natural conquest because they are a Solomonic tribe. You know, maybe that's why they were. Why else would Ethiopia be up in their business? You know,
exactly. So. Maybe they were like, "You took the ark from us, and we want it back." Who knows? Right. Yeah. Oh Lord, do not let mere men prevail against you. Why are you calling on God?
They always do in the Bible.
But it's just weird to me that they're like, if we lose, this is on you, sir.
Well, but then God just throws it right back at him. He's like, no, it's on you. You guys didn't worship correctly or something. Yeah.
So the Lord defeated the Ethiopians in the presence of Asa and the army of Judah, and the enemy fled. 1 million men fled.
I always want to know what the losses were on both sides. Yeah. Like, how did this really go? Yeah. It wasn't God that did the fighting. There was people that died.
Okay, listen to this. Asa and his army pursued them as far as Gerar, and so many Ethiopians fell that they were unable to rally. They were destroyed by the Lord and his army, and the army of Judah carried off a vast amount of plunder.
Wow. A vast amount.
What the hell?
I don't know.
How much plunder could an army have?
I mean, they've got lots of weapons and stuff.
Defense,
right, yeah.
Not like the good stuff that they left at home.
Well, they got food supplies and,
that's true.
You know, tents and different things you can take.
That's true. While they were at Gerar, they attacked all the towns in that area. You know, while we're here, we're just going to kick a little bit more ass because we're assholes.
Fight some other people, yeah.
Yeah. And terror from the Lord came upon the people there. No terror from your sword.
Why was he fighting them, though? Like, it sounds to me like he just was like, hey, let's just go fight those fuckers, too.
While we're here.
Right.
While we're here, let's just...
But why? What did they do?
They were there. They weren't worshiping the Lord correctly. This was a missionary group.
But they only went out there because they were being attacked.
Right. But then they were like, let's be missionaries. Worship our Lord or we'll kill you. And they did. They killed them.
Got it.
As a result, a vast amount of plunder was taken from these towns, too. They also attacked the camps of herdsmen and captured many sheep, goats, and camels before finally returning to Jerusalem. The end.
Wow, they sound like just really upstanding people.
I was going to say they sound like fucking assholes.
Well, that's what I meant. I was being sarcastic. You know, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just sound like they're just killing people to like replenish their fucking supplies, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
And it has nothing to do with God. It just has to be. They're just fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't really know what else to say about that other than
I don't like Asa.
Like, I just wish they'd stop invoking God.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you guys are invoking God, you're making him sound to me like a fucking asshole.
Right.
And if you want me to believe in this dude, you wouldn't invoke him when you're killing sheep herders.
Yeah.
Like, that's just
grotesque
trash.
And stupid.
Right.
So God condones just senseless murdering?
To take sheep.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah. That God is gross. And since we have a choice to worship him or not, I choose not.
Right.
I'm going to not believe in that.
I mean, yeah. that was established a while back.
No, I know. But, it bears repeating.
Right.
I'm going to choose to not believe that. And if I'm proved wrong, I'm going to feel like that guy is an asshole.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to worship him.
Yep.
Even if belief somehow came about, I'm going to choose not to worship a murderous, gross, nasty, rape and slavery approving entity who's just down with murdering people willy-nilly for no reason except to take their fucking sheep and their gold or whatever.
Well, we've been talking about this recently, the last day or two here, at home amongst ourselves, but like people really just pick and choose what they want God to represent. Mm-hmm. And even back then, I think they were picking and choosing what they wanted him to represent. They need sheep, so God's going to represent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go kill him. God said so. Okay, great. I got sheep. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But it has nothing to do with God. It has to do with their desires and what they're putting. They're putting the God in the action.
Right.
They're saying God says this is okay because one person's like, yeah, God totally said it was okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, whatever. All right. Well, I don't think I really have anything else to add today.
No, I don't either. It's all bullshit. Whatever.
Right. He killed sheep herders.
Moving on.
Right. That was 2 Chronicles chapter 14.
Sure as fuck was.
And tomorrow we will be back with
2 Chronicles chapter 15.
We'll see you guys then.
Yep. Bye. Husband!
Wife!
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
Yeah. King Asa, tore down some Asherah pools, and then they fortified some towns because, God's going to, help them?
Apparently.
But only if they help themselves, right?
I don't even understand it.
I mean, that's one of those things that they like to say, right? God helps those who help themselves.
Sure.
But I'm like, but God literally says he'll not let people fail if they, worship him.
Yeah, so all they have to
how
do
does that,
is
I don't see how that correlates.
I don't either. I don't get it.
Right.
And then he goes and attacks some herdsmen and kills all their goats and sheep and whatever.
In God's name, like killing herdsmen and goats. Not goats. They kept the goats.
Just for the heck of it.
Right.
Right. Those weren't even attacking. But who did attack was
Ethiopia. Yeah, that was cool.
They came out of nowhere.
I mean, it's cool that they popped up again.
Yeah.
Because I'm so curious about that story.
Yeah.
Like I want to know what the fuck happened in Ethiopia.
Yeah, same.
Like that needs to be like a whole fucking series.
I know. we need to learn the history of Ethiopia.
Right, apparently.
Honestly.
Apparently.
Okay.
All right. Well, that was 2 Chronicles chapter 14.
It sure as fuck was.
And today we're getting into
2 Chronicles chapter 15.
Well, let's go do this.
Okie dokie. Okay, 2 Chronicles chapter 15.
Okay.
More about Asa. He's not dead yet.
Oh, womp womp.
Oh my gosh. Then the spirit... Wait. Let me start over. Then... Because, that's how we start the chapter.
Right.
Yeah. The Spirit of God came upon Azariah, son of Oded, and he went out to meet King Asa as he was returning from the battle.
Okay.
The one against
Ethiopia. The one where they were fighting the herdsmen.
Yeah. Listen to me, Asa, he shouted.
Yeah, don't kill herdsmen.
Listen, all you people of Judah and Benjamin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Lord will stay with you as long as you stay with him.
Okay.
Whenever you seek him, you will find him.
The instructions on keeping in touch with God to me are a little vague in the Bible.
Well, this is over the top too. This guy just comes out of the blue and he's like, "Hey, don't forget to follow God."
Right. Right.
We are.
Like he just said that he was going to do that in the last fucking chapter.
Yeah.
And now this guy's just like running up out of the fucking desert like, "Hey dudes,
don't forget
God."
It just makes me laugh like like when you get cards from family and they say all this God stuff on them.
Yeah.
And I always think, God.
Yeah.
I know it's stupid. I'm sorry. But, so my parents live in a condo and on their front door, they have a chalkboard so that people in the building can come and write their prayer requests on their door.
Yeah.
Their front door.
Yeah.
And they have pinned up, like with push pins, like crosses, all these different crosses,
right.
just so you know, they're with God. They follow God, you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, God, don't forget.
Yep.
But if you abandon him, he will abandon you. For a long time, Israel was without the true God, without a priest to teach them, and without the law to instruct them. But I mean, he's just going on.
Yeah.
And don't forget.
But I don't really know that that's exactly true because there have always been Levite priests. So they were there, whether or not they were teaching the correct version of God, maybe? I don't know.
But
somebody was teaching something, and the story is still there, and the laws are still known. So obviously somebody's teaching something.
And, somebody carved that shit up on those rocks, remember?
Right.
A long time ago?
Yeah, and it was there until this day,
Until this day, yeah. But whenever they were in trouble, this guy continued, and turned to the Lord, the God of Israel, and sought him out. They found him.
Yeah.
They found God.
I mean, I guess.
He was missing. They found him.
Right.
During those dark times, it was not safe to travel. Problems troubled the people of every land. Nation fought against nation and city against city.
You mean unlike now where they're still fighting against each other?
I know. I'm like,
what?
How has that changed? They literally just came from fighting
Even when they say, like, when Solomon was all about peace, he still fought people.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys can't even call peace.
I know. For God was troubling them with every kind of problem. That was the rest of the sentence.
God was troubling them with every kind of problem?
Because they weren't following him. God was troubling them.
Because he's a petty asshole is why.
God could have just got that book out, floated it across the sky, and put it in the right person's lap and said, don't forget.
Yeah.
But as for you, be strong and courageous, for your work will be rewarded.
Okay.
That's the end of his quote.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
But I don't understand. Like, this just comes out of the blue. This guy just runs up to you and just gives you this speech.
Right.
When Asa heard this message from Azariah the prophet, it's a prophet.
Oh. Makes all the difference.
Oh. I feel so foolish. He took courage and removed all the detestable idols from the land of Judah and Benjamin.
You mean like he just did last chapter?
Yeah.
Is this like I thought that, whatever.
He already did that. But now he, super did it?
I guess.
And in the towns he had captured in the hill country of Ephraim. Well, it would have made sense if they just had the last half
right,
of that.
Yeah, because you just took over places, so get those out of there, I guess, my dude.
Ashera out of there, whatever.
Right.
And he repaired the altar of the Lord, which stood in front of the entry room of the Lord's temple. That shit wasn't already fixed up?
Right?
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Then Asa called together all the people of Judah and Benjamin, along with the people of Ephraim, Manasseh, and Simon, who had settled among them.
Okay.
For many from Israel had moved to Judah during Asa's reign when they saw that the Lord his God was with him.
Ah.
Or
he was winning them over, huh?
Or when they saw they were about to get fucked if they didn't.
Right. I mean, he's out there taking on armies twice his size and winning every time. So
I'm gonna lay down my arms
with this guy.
Yep. Any way the wind blows, nothing really matters.
Yeah.
The people gathered at Jerusalem in late spring. That's when kings go to war.
Yeah, it is.
During the 15th year of Asa's reign. Dude reigned forever, man.
Mm-hmm.
On that day, they sacrificed to the Lord 700 cattle and 7,000 sheep and goats.
It's nothing like those hundreds of thousands that Solomon slaughtered.
Still a fuck ton, though.
It is still a lot. Yeah.
From the plunder they had taken in the battle. Good grief. Why?
Because they like killing shit.
You know what? Boys are just violent. That's what it comes to.
You think?
People in general are violent, but men are like really violent.
Right.
They just love to stomp things and to kick things over and to like run around in fresh snow to mark it up. You know what I mean?
I mean, I like running around in fresh snow.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, boys like to break things. They like violence, and they like to fry ants and put little cherry bombs on their G.I. Joe guys.
That is some fun shit, especially if you launch them in like a paper plane or a balsa wood plane is even better.
You're proving my point.
Launch them with a firecracker and and then if you have one that's got like a parachute, even better. I mean, you can't beat that shit. Okay, that's awesome.
You are proving my point though, that boys like to mess shit up and break shit and just they're bad. Boys are bad. Boys are violent.
Okay.
That's all.
All right.
Then they entered into a covenant to seek the Lord, the God of their ancestors, with all their heart and soul. They agreed that anyone who refused to seek the Lord, the God of Israel, would be put to death.
Oh my gosh.
Whether young or old, man or woman. Well, again, if you're threatening death, then
they're not going to come out and say, yeah, I'm not seeking the Lord. Fuck you.
I'm moving to your place, which has food and fortified walls, and yep, I totally believe in what is that God's name again? Yep, yeah. That is the one.
Yeah.
I am for him.
Is it Elohim or Yahweh?
Whichever.
Which one are we worshiping?
And are there cows, like golden calves? Or
no?
Or is this the one with not?
No, okay. I'm totally on board.
And wait, are you using holidays around the celestial things in the sky, like the moon and shit? Or aren't you?
Right.
Aren't you? You're
Regardless, not? I'm with you.
I'm with you. Whichever way.
100%. I am so devoted.
Whichever pagan shit you are doing.
There's never been a more devoted person on the planet.
Bigly.
Yeah.
I am bigly devoted.
Right.
Yeah.
Mostly because I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course. They shouted out their oath of loyalty to the Lord with trumpets blaring.
Wow.
And ram's horns sounding. Ricola. All in Judy. Punching Judy.
Yeah.
All in Judah were happy about this covenant, for they had entered into it with all their heart. They earnestly sought after God, and they found him.
I don't believe that at all.
I don't believe that at all. You can't tell me in the sentence prior, and if they didn't, they would be killed.
You can't speak for that many people's hearts.
Yeah.
That's just not something you can do.
No. You can count to 1,000,000. You can't tell me what's in somebody else's heart.
Right.
That's just facts.
Yeah.
And the Lord gave them rest from their enemies on every side.
That was nice.
That's because they just fucking conquered them.
Right.
King Asa even deposed his grandmother Maacah from her position as queen mother because she had made an obscene Asherah pole.
Oh no, not that.
I mean,
he couldn't even control his grandmother.
What's the difference between an Asherah pole and an obscene Asherah pole? Because I gotta tell you, I'm intrigued. I want an obscene Asherah pole.
I mean, don't we all?
I guess when you put it that way, my interest is not so unusual. He cut down her obscene pole, broke it up, and burned it in the Kidron Valley.
That'll show her. But yeah. Weren't they supposed to be put to death if they?
He just deposed her.
Okay.
It doesn't say that
it doesn't count for grandmothers, apparently.
Right. Kind of like how you can be anti-LGBTQ and then find out that your grandchild is part of that community and be like, oh, but my grandchild doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking of anybody in particular. Although the pagan shrines were not removed from Israel, Asa's heart remained completely faithful throughout his life. He brought into the temple of God the silver and gold and the various items that he and his father had dedicated. So there was no more war until the 35th year of Asa's reign. The end.
Wait. Well, I think it was more like until the 30. I mean, like, you know, he there was no more war until he died, at least.
Well, we don't know what happened in that 35th year.
Well, but he died before it happened. Apparently.
We don't know that.
Well, that's true.
It says there was no more war until his 35th year of reign.
Right. I guess it is how you know.
I don't fucking know what happened in his 35th year.
That's true.
He gave him a rest.
Right.
He didn't say that he made it for the rest of his life.
Right. Well, you know, I find that a lot of these people will just wait till kings die and then they're like, well, let's test the next one because
let's get our Asherah poles back out.
Maybe this one won't be as strong.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was it for that chapter.
And
that was 2 Chronicles chapter 15.
Sure as fuck was.
And we will be back tomorrow, which is Saturday, with
Q&A Saturday.
And then on Sunday, we won't be back with our book club because we are going to be doing our bi-weekly
Patreon. And I need to come up with a jingle for that.
You do. Yeah, we don't have a jingle for our Patreon stuff.
I really need to come up with one. The others were kind of spur of the moment, like on the spot.
Right.
Like they just happened.
Oh, they just happened.
And every single time you kind of glared at me like, God damn it. But now they're a thing. Right.
And then we'll obviously have our weekly replay that day on Sunday.
No replay. You're right.
What? You didn't?
I know. I switched back and forth.
Okay.
You
give me so much shit for not saying replay.
Okay, but wait. Listen. Remember last night when we were at my parents' house for my birthday dinner, right?
Yes.
And you were telling me that you have seen the movie Murder by Death. And I told you, no, honey, we have this argument every time.
Yeah.
You have seen the movie Clue. And you started arguing with me. And then my mom piped up, no, you do always argue about this.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, sometimes you're always wrong.
Sometimes I'm always wrong, but not in this instance.
No, not in that instance.
No.
But I'm just saying, like, sometimes you're wrong. That time I was wrong. And I just did a yeah, but you.
Yeah. So do we want to tease our Patreon episode at all?
Do we?
Maybe just a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
So I think we're going to be talking about Ted Cruz. More than likely. More than likely. No, I don't want to like promise that, but
I'm pretty sure that's where our hearts are at the moment.
Yeah, that's where we talked about going with it.
With the incident with his daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what we may be talking about on the Patreon on Sunday. And then we will be back on Monday with
2 Chronicles chapter 16.
All right, we'll see you guys then.
Yep, bye. Husband,
Wife.
do you know what today is?
It's Saturday.
It's Q&A Saturday.
That is right. And what are we Qing and Aing today?
Okay, so remember when in 2 Chronicles chapter 14, when Zerah the Ethiopian came running up to Asa and was like, I'm gonna get you? That guy.
When they were fighting the Ethiopians.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what we're gonna do now.
Okay, let's go do that.
I'm gonna talk about that guy.
Great. Let's go do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so do you remember in 2 Chronicles chapter 14, which was on Thursday, when Zerah the Ethiopian was like going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he himself is most likely to have been Nubian or Sudanese or who even the fuck knows.
Okay.
Because he might also have been a Cushite.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds like he was a lot of fucking people.
He was a lot of fucking people. He may also have been a general in the army of Pharaoh Asorkin. Either the first or the second. We don't know.
Okay.
We haven't decided.
Right.
And he may actually have been Pharaoh Asorkin the first or the second.
Was he also Big Bird? Up in the air?
It's out there.
It's up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's generally been contended by scholars that Zerah was Asorkin the first king of Egypt.
Okay.
Okay. The only problem with that is that Asorkin, like his father Shishak, he was not a Cushite. He was a Libyan.
Got it. Because we need to add more things to the mix than...
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And Zerah, was probably a Cushite.
Okay.
So
I'm a little lost, to be honest. That's a lot of fucking people.
It's too many.
That are all the same people.
Yeah. It's too many.
I don't know where we're at with that now. He was somebody.
He was somebody.
Or he was nobody.
That is also a possibility.
Right. Okay.
Okay. He was the governor, maybe, of a Cushite colony, which was established by Shishak.
Maybe.
Yeah. It is more probable, however, say some, that Zerah was a Cushite chieftain from the vicinity of Gerar, which that was where all that fighting took place.
Right, but just the vicinity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who raided and plundered the surrounding areas, which could have been why dude was like, coming after him.
Okay.
Because maybe Zerah didn't just take his 1 million strong army to Asa. Maybe Zerah was running around raiding shit, and Asa was like, I've had about enough of your shit.
Got it.
Who even knows?
I mean, if you have 1 million people, why not just go around raiding stuff, right?
I guess.
But
that's a horde.
But maybe it was more like, it might have been more like 10 people.
Right.
Because they're counting him as like, 30 different people, so.
Yeah. Well, that and the Bible has a lot of hyperbole in it, particularly the chronicler.
Not that.
Right? So there's a story in the Agada, and do you remember what the Agada is?
Yeah, it's the supplemental material for the Torah.
Yeah, one of those supplemental.
Right.
Yeah. It's like the supplement to the supplement.
Got it.
So in this particular story, Zerah was, for a short period, the owner of all the wealth in the world.
All the wealth.
That is rich.
Every bit of it.
Which he acquired by capturing from Shishak those treasures which the king had taken from Rehoboam.
Got it. So nobody had anything else that was wealth. I'm just making sure I had that straight.
Okay, but did you hear that?
Did I hear what?
Oh my God. I hate you so much. The way that Zerah got all of the gold, got all of his riches, was when Shishak had taken those from Rehoboam.
Got it. Okay. Yep.
These were the treasures which the children of Israel had taken from the Egyptians at the time of the Exodus. So here's these Egyptians, right? And they've got all this gold. And then the Exodus happened, and the Israelites were like, hey, while we're exiling, we're just going to take some of your shit with us. Thanks, bye.
But did they? I felt like they just left with what was on their backs, basically.
That's the story in the Bible, but we're not reading the Bible. At the moment, we're reading from the Agada.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Slightly different story.
Yeah.
And so anyway, the Israelites, they took the shit, and then they went and set up their own camps, East Side gang, West Side, all of that. Yeah. Judah, Israel.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All of that. And then... so then Rehoboam has all this shit, right? But then Shishak comes along and he's like, by the way, give me my shit back.
Okay.
And so he takes it back to Egypt, right?
Shishak wants his shit back.
Exactly.
Got it.
And then Zerah got it from Shishak.
Okay.
In this story.
Okay.
And so that was how Zerah became the owner of all the wealth in the world.
I see.
Okay.
I see.
So it was shit that started in Egypt and then passed around.
I think that's how you could define pretty much all of religion. Shit that started in Egypt.
And spread all around. Yeah, it's true. So, okay. These were the treasures, blah, 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 from the Exodus, okay?
Okay.
Ultimately, however, these treasures reverted to Asa when he defeated Zerah the Cushite in battle. So, oopsie, the Israelites got the treasure again.
Okay. All right. Yep.
In the book of Kings, in the Bible, like...
First Kings, Second Kings.
Mm-hmm,
yep.
Which doesn't mention Asa's defeat of Zerah.
Mm-hmm.
Asa is described as being extremely weak from a defensive point of view.
Okay. Yeah.
And biblical scholars regard the idea that Asa could defeat an enormous Egyptian army to be completely untenable. It's so unlikely that Asa could have beat Zerah's
So
ass.
are you saying that the chronicler made some shit up?
The chronicler is a big fat hog liar.
No way.
I hate that guy.
I don't believe it.
More recent
Said
scholars...
my sarcasm.
Anyways, more recent scholars consider that Zerah the Cushite may have been a military commander under Asorkin I rather than a pharaoh, which, we already said. And I want to apologize if it sounds like I'm saying things more than once. It's because I got all this information from several various sources.
Sure.
So he maybe was a pharaoh, maybe was a chieftain, maybe was under the pharaoh, who fucking knows.
But maybe none of this happened because the chronicler just made this shit up.
That is also a possibility.
Right.
Although this is not the chronicler. This is the story from the Agada.
Oh, okay. All right.
So Zerah may have been born in Ethiopia and married into the royal family of Egypt, thereby inheriting the throne.
Okay.
Or he may have invaded Judah after passing through Egypt with the pharaoh's blessing. As you do.
Right, as you do. Yeah.
Another possibility is that this Ethiopian Zerah was a nomadic leader of Arabians associated with the Midianites.
Okay, why not? Let's pile another one on there.
Sure.
Yep.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably also from Japan as well as Alaska.
You forgot Australia.
And Australia.
And Antarctica.
No, not Antarctica. No.
Why? Because you can't make nothing out of something?
Because...
Or you can't make something out of nothing?
Because I wasn't in the mood for Antarctica that day.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so that's the end of that story.
Okay.
Now, a generation ago, so we're talking like within the last 100 years, right? The entire story within the last 100 years.
Of modern history, like now.
Yes, a generation ago.
Sure, okay, just clarifying.
Yeah. The entire story of Zerah's conquest of Asa, coming as it did from what we consider a late source, Second Chronicles is a not early source, it's a late source. It was, so because it came from a late source, as recently as just a generation ago, this story was regarded as apocryphal. And apocryphal, to remind you, is a story that is not considered Bible canon.
It's non-canonical.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow, that was a good word you threw out there. Okay, so that's the end of Zerah, okay?
Okay.
But I just couldn't let go of this Ethiopia story, okay?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, remember last week when we were like, what? The ark might be in Ethiopia? What the fuck?
Right.
Okay, so I was like, hey, while I'm talking about Zerah, I got a question.
Gotta go back to the ark. You know?
I got a question for Google.
Yeah.
And so I typed in, is the ark? And it autofilled the rest of the question, I kid you not, was of the covenant in Ethiopia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Either it's listening to us a lot.
Could be.
Or that's crazy.
Or we're not the first people to read this way and to ask this question.
Right.
Which always makes me feel really good because it means that there are other people out there. Like, we're on the right track. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we're asking the same questions that other people are asking.
Right.
So it makes me feel less dumb. I wouldn't say it necessarily makes me feel smart, but it makes me feel less dumb if a lot of people are asking the same questions that we're asking.
Right.
So, is the Ark of the Covenant in Ethiopia?
I mean, who the fuck knows?
I'm going to tell you. Okay?
Okay.
Now, according to Ethiopian tradition, the Ark of the Covenant is preserved in the ancient holy city of Aksum. For centuries, the great relic was kept in the Church of Mary of Zion, where the Emperor Ieyasu is recorded as having seen it and spoken to it in 1691.
Wow.
That is relatively recent.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It gets better.
Okay.
Now it is kept in the chapel of the tablet, which was built beside the church during the reign of the last emperor, Haile Selassie. Do you remember that name?
Yeah, kind of.
He was the last emperor of Ethiopia.
Oh, the one that reigned.
He was deposed in 1974.
Right.
Like a year before I was born.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah. The relic is entrusted to a single guardian who burns incense before it and recites the biblical book of Psalms. No one else can approach it, including the high priest of Aksum.
Boy, God must get bored in there, just sitting there by himself.
It's been like over
and
1,000
just like a monk,
years.
a virgin monk, just sitting there.
He's just sitting in there.
Do you think the monk ever gets sick of God just filling the room with the glorious presence of the Lord? Like, God damn it, God! Do you have to let one out again, man?
That's just silly. And anyway, I'm just going to continue on. So the guardian is not only a monk, but a virgin as well.
Yeah.
And he serves the ark until he appoints a successor as his own death approaches. So it's like a thing that gets passed on.
Got it.
Okay?
Got it.
Okay. Now, it gets better.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
So remember the Queen of Sheba? You thought I was done with that bitch.
Yep.
I'm never done with her. So, okay. The story goes on a little bit about the ark, blah, 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 blah. And then we get to remember the story of the Queen of Sheba and how she had heard of Solomon's great wisdom and she journeyed there from Ethiopia to go test him, and she brought gold and treasures and all this, right?
Right.
And he was like, this is a badass bitch. I gotta wed her or at least knock her up with my children. Yeah. I have to put my penis inside her.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So he really wanted sons with her so that he could have his sons go rule with her.
Got it. Okay.
Like in this story that I'm reading about Ethiopia.
Right.
And the ark and Sheba. Okay?
Sure.
The Queen of Sheba, not Sheba. So the Queen of Sheba did conceive a son, which I believe his name was Makeda.
Makeda or something like that. Yeah. Right.
Okay. And after he had grown, he set out from Ethiopia to visit his father.
Okay.
You know, Solomon.
Yep.
Okay. Solomon anointed him as king of Ethiopia and then instructed the elders of Israel to send their own sons to Africa to serve him as counselors. Now, because the young Israelites were desperately unhappy that they would never see Jerusalem and its temple again, they decided to carry the ark with them.
Oh, shit.
Right?
Wait, Where did you read that? Like, where did that come from?
I couldn't even
tell you.
But
some source says that
yes.
Okay.
There is a story out there that this is what happened.
Okay. Well, I mean, we kind of had, I think in one of our Q&As or something, we had covered that we thought that there were thoughts that maybe it went to Ethiopia with the Queen of Sheba, or well, at least shortly after, it was because of his son. Yeah.
But it was also because when Israel was sacked, there was no mention of it.
Right.
And it was just
and we had talked about that too, how like after a certain point, there's not really much talk of the ark anymore.
Like,
it
what
just
happened to it?
Disappears.
Where did it go? Yeah. It probably went to fucking Ethiopia is what.
Right?
Yeah. That's my thinking. In fact, The Glory of Kings, which I don't know what book that is, but there's a book called The Glory of Kings.
Okay.
Tells us that the ark itself has decided to leave Jerusalem because the Jews had abandoned the faith that God had revealed to them.
Ah.
So it allowed itself to be carried
to
Ethiopia.
Got it. Do you think they had Levites carry it the whole way?
I could not even tell you because these are Ethiopians and maybe they are the new Levites.
Right. Yeah.
They could be the new God's chosen people.
Right.
For all I know.
Maybe it just sits in that room because they've got no Levites to carry it.
I mean, God could choose more than one chosen people.
Sure.
He could choose.
I mean, if there is a God, he can do whatever the fuck he wants, probably. He just doesn't do a whole fucking lot, so.
Right. He just sits there.
Right.
So now the question is, okay, what the fuck? So there's this box, right? And it's over there.
Right.
So even though an ancient wooden box could have survived in the dry air of a sealed Egyptian tomb, the humidity of the Ethiopian rainy season would be very damaging.
Okay.
The question, therefore, arises of whether an ark might have decayed in Ethiopia, but the stone tablets of Moses, for which the Ark of the Covenant had been made, would survive unharmed. So the box might be gone, but the tablets would still exist.
I thought the ark was made of like metals and stuff,
shit, right?
Yeah.
But I think it was wood adorned with gold.
Okay.
So the adornments would still be there, but the wood itself would surely, over the course of,
thousands of years,
2,500 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. The wood would be gone at this point.
More than 2,500 years. Because Moses was around and.
Yeah, whenever.
Yeah.
There's too many maths.
It's a long, long fucking time ago.
Right. I'm just saying, like, that wood is gone. Long gone. But the adornments would still be there. And the,
the cherubim that's on top, those were like gold or something.
Right. Now, they may have been stolen and melted down. Who fucking knows, right? But the tablets would still be intact if they were not crumbled and broken and stolen and hidden and whatever.
Right,
okay?
Right.
In fact, the earliest accounts by foreign travelers in Ethiopia refer to a tablet rather than an ark.
Huh.
Right?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Now, wait, so like the earliest travelers, like from what time period though? Does it say?
No, not in that particular source.
Why are you leaving me hanging like this?
Because this is so exciting to me, and I had to stop because I was like, I could just do this all day. Yeah.
This is just
fucking rabbit hole.
Fuck the Bible.
Galore.
We're just gonna learn about Ethiopia. God damn.
Right? Like, now I want to learn everything about Ethiopia, and I want to go there, and I want to see, is there a museum? Like, this is our next Q&A. I don't even know. We have not read next week's material yet. I don't even care. Next week's Q&A, I'm like, is there a museum? Do we know? Like, do we have the priest name the monk that sits in the room? Like, who is he?
Right.
Is this still a thing that's happening to this day? To this day. Right? Like, I'm just, oh my God, I'm so
intrigued.
I can't even, like, my cheek muscles hurt from smiling because I just love learning this shit. It's so cool.
Really awesome. Like, I can't,
I wasn't done with the Queen of Sheba, and there she was just sitting there for me.
Like, could you imagine if we just got, like, Moses' tablets are still there? Hypothetically.
Yeah.
Or at least some type of a tablet is still there. Mm-hmm. Possibly, maybe. Right. And maybe some adornments from the ark or something like that.
And a mason jar full of manna.
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, and Moses' book of whatever,
And what else? Aaron's
the rod.
Rod.
Yeah, with the almond joy rod.
Surely that would not have rotted away.
You don't think so?
It's a magic wand.
It is he turned into a snake once, remember?
Yeah, it's a magic fucking wand.
That could still be
Wait,
there.
no. Remember that one guy, I forget which king it was, but he took it out and he was like, y'all are fucking shit up with your snakes and whatever, and you're worshiping the wrong thing, and he broke that rod, remember?
Oh. I only vaguely remember that.
Yeah, I forgot which king it was, but he was like, y'all are doing it wrong. You're doing the worshiping thing wrong.
I thought that was the thing. I thought that was the thing for when. Remember how they made the bronze statue of the snake?
Yeah.
And that's what that was. But the almond joy rod was something different.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah, the almond joy rod should have still been in there.
Well, it's a magic wand, so if somebody didn't break it, then it should still be
magic.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
really the ark should be like that's God's throne.
That's God's box.
You'd think, even though it's wood, God would keep it in good shape instead of just sitting on the fucking ground on the tablets with the fucking tablets going up his asshole.
That would be a really good name for a book, The God Box.
The God Box?
Right?
Yeah.
I want to continue with this Q&A right now. Like
we can't.
I know. I want to like say, okay, hold on. And then I want to go read some more.
But we got to go.
I know, we got to go.
All right. That was all we had for today for our Q&A.
That was all we had.
That was it.
Nothing
more.
Well, I mean, that was a lot.
Nothing else to see, folks.
That was a lot, though.
That was a lot. Yeah. All right. Well, so we will be back tomorrow with our weekly replay and also...
No, that is tonight. No, you're right. Nothing.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, nothing.
Tomorrow. And we're going to be doing our first bi-weekly on purpose.
Planned.
Dated. Patreon episode.
Yeah. And I think we're covering Tom Cruise. Not Tom Cruise. I did that last time. Oh my God. Not Tom Cruise. Ted Cruz. I mean, they're both schmucks, but.
Yeah, there was some tragedy that happened in Ted Cruz's family. And it's very... It hit home with us a little bit.
It hit home with us pretty hard.
Yeah, so we wanted to discuss that and our thoughts on it and how we feel about the whole situation. So, yeah, that's what we're talking about tomorrow. If you aren't on Patreon with us, you can get on there for as low as $2 a month and get access to all of our all of our Patreon episodes that we do exclusively for our Patreon members, as well as get things like stickers and mugs and shirts and all kinds of shit that come with different levels.
When we post stuff early, you get first access to it.
Yes, that too.
You can also chat with us.
Guys, we do this for every level. Like, you get no ads, you get access to our episodes as soon as we release them, which is usually just the night before.
Yeah, we ain't that fancy.
And you get our special bonus episodes. Yeah. And you can choose any level to do that at. We don't make you go higher, though some people do choose to, and we really, really appreciate that.
We sure as fuck do.
So, thank you to those that are already subscribers, and we will see the rest of you back on Monday when we are going over
2 Chronicles chapter 16.
That's right. We'll see you guys then.
Bye. Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys.
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband.
Wife.
Do you know what we are doing right now?
We're doing a fucking Patreon, and we scheduled it.
I know.
And we're doing it on the day that we said we're going to do it.
This is kind of amazing. A pre-schedule.
It's a fucking miracle.
Right?
Wait, no. Not a miracle.
No, not a miracle.
Just scheduled.
No.
Yeah.
It's a miracle that we made happen.
Right, yes.
A man-made miracle.
Right.
Yeah. So do you know what we're talking about today?
I think I do, but I'm going to let you kind of dig into it here. So
Okay. Well, just to give you a brief headline version.
Yeah.
For this intro, Senator Ted Cruz's daughter, 14-year-old Caroline, was taken to the hospital on December 6th. So very recently, because of self-inflicted wounds.
Right.
And we just wanted to kind of talk about that and why and the what fors and what might have been related to that.
Well, and just so, I mean, we can say this in the beginning. Part of it is that she came out a year prior as LGBTQIA. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and Ted Cruz is her father. Right. So that's kind of where we're heading with this podcast, or this episode for our Patreon, I think.
And I think you had said before, it hit kind of close to home to us because our child is LGBTQIA, and half of her family is
there.
Sorry, you're right. Half of their family is not supportive of who they are as a person.
Right.
And you heard me say her instead of their. So there is proof positive that even though I am supportive, I still fuck it up because I'm still trying to get my language
But we also have good intentions.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
So that's where we're going with today's podcast. Hope you guys will tune in if you're not a patron already. It's really easy. Head over to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse. You can become a patron for as little as $2 a month and get access to all of our Patreon episodes. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and hop into this.
Okie dokie. Oh no, what happened?
Well, this is a special Patreon episode, actually. Which means that they need to go to Patreon and subscribe as a patron in order to listen to it.
Okay, well, I guess that we are going to go do that now.
Yeah, just head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse, become a member for as low as $2 a month, and you'll have access to all these special things and goodies too. So, go do that.
So this was just a teaser.
Yeah, teaser.
Okay, just
Bye.
checking.
Okay,
Bye.
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 Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
Hi, I'm Dory Shafrier, and along with Kate Spencer, I host Forever 35, a podcast about the things we do to take care of ourselves. Join us every Wednesday with guests like author Phoebe Robinson, chef Samin Nosrat, actress Busy Phillips, and even former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright. On Mondays and Fridays, we have mini episodes where we answer listeners' questions on everyday problems like how useful a butt mask really is, how to deal with a petty friend, or how to relax after a long day. So join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Forever 35, where we're not experts, but we are two friends who like to talk a lot about serums.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.